Good morning / early afternoon here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We got home from the game with about 21% state of charge. Charged it overnight. If you follow me over here, we can see that we had our Airbnb host graciously let us use the plugs that we had sitting right outside our Airbnb over here. So we've been charging a level 1 charging overnight. So we plugged in, what did we get home at, like 10 or 11 last night, Caitlin? About 10 o'clock, and then we plugged in immediately. It is now 12 o'clock the next day, and we've gone up from 21% to, oh gosh, I just had it here, 21% to 37%. So we gained about 16% overnight in that about, let's say, 14 hours or so. So again, charges approximately 1% an hour, maybe a slightly more depending on the outlet you're using, stuff like that. But we'll go ahead and just get her unplugged here. So, oh, gotta make sure I unlock the car because otherwise it locks in there. There we go. Then I'll go ahead and just get this guy unplugged so we don't leave it hanging over here. So super convenient when you have access to an outlet. Just gets you a little bit of a top off, and it is currently -2 degrees Fahrenheit here, so my hair is already freezing from my shower, so I'm looking forward to being in the cozy car for that. Go ahead and just we'll put the cable here because we'll need it later. I'm not going to worry about wrapping it up for now. Yeah, that is a good idea. Why don't I cap it? Yeah, not too worried considering I'll be inside, but always good. You press the thing here and then it locks the cap on, which is kind of neat. So you can see how that latch goes in and out there. So awesome. Car's already warming up for us, so we will get on our way. We're gonna go visit the Mall of America. There are a couple Blink chargers over there, so we're gonna try to use those. We're gonna try to avoid hitting Electrify America until we have to drive to Rochester tomorrow. So we're just gonna charge wherever we are in Minneapolis. We're grabbing dinner with a couple friends that we have that live here, and we will go from there. All right, one quick addition. Like I said, we're at 37% stated charge. Just wanted to show you what our range was. Our guesstimated range is 63 miles. As you can see, the car is detecting it being 1 degree Fahrenheit here, but it is in reality, I think, -2. So the car is probably struggling a little bit, or maybe the black paint on the car is making it seem a little warmer. But we're gonna get on over to Mall of America. We'll update you on how the Blink charging session goes. Hey guys, welcome to Mall of America. So we just went ahead and parked. We found one. We were in the west parking structure that had 2 chargers available. Those were both being used. They weren't being used when we left our Airbnb. So the east parking lot, or parking structure on the 4th floor here, did have 1 available spot. There's an e-Golf plugged in over on this side. This is the first time I'm using the Blink charging network, so we'll see how this goes. I already had an account set up since the IKEA in Oak Creek, Wisconsin actually has a Blink charger, so we go to IKEA every once in a while, so I had an account set up just in case. So let's see what we have to do here. So here's the J1772. So it says touch anywhere to begin. This is, again, first time, so here we go. Please hold your contactless payment card. All right, so I am a Blink member, so let me figure out my Blink app here. All right, Mall of America. So it looks like I can just activate from the app. So there we go, unit 808 available. Yep, and I matched that up with what's over here. So all I did was open the app and it automatically pulled to the location of the charger. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me just make sure my payment methods are all right, because I have no idea what I put in here when I set up the account. Do I even have a payment method set up in here? I don't know how it's gonna do payment on here because I don't think I have a card. So let's see, guest rates, 49 cents a kilowatt. That is freaking expensive. All right, unable to connect to Blink. Try again. Unable to connect to Blink. All right, so the app is no good, but what I think you can do, I think it says you can use a contactless card, so let's just see if we can, let's see if Google Pay works. I do have a Blink card in the car. I wonder what that would do, but I don't know how, again, because I don't have a credit card in here, and it doesn't seem to give me a very obvious option. Let's just try Google Pay and see if that works, because you know what, whatever at this point. All right, touch anywhere to begin. Please hold your contactless payment card. Let's just see if that works. I have a Blink card if we have to. We might have got something going. Okay, so it does want the Blink card. So let me grab the Blink card out of here, because obviously the app, this is not very user-friendly because it doesn't really, I mean, if the app doesn't work, then I don't know what you're supposed to do. Let me just try charging again. No, unable to connect. All right. Yeah, this is bogus. I already hate this. All right. I don't recommend Blink based on first impressions here. I'm gonna grab my card here. This is why I highly recommend, if you get an electric car, Sign up for all the charging networks in your area, even if you don't think you're going to use them very often. So let's see what happens if we tap it. Maybe it'll give me like a balance low type of thing. We'll see. Issue with your card or account. Oh my goodness, this is great. Probably because I have no credit on here, is what I would guess. This is frustrating. This is like, what am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do? All right. Manage plan. Blink Pro. Okay, I guess I have a Blink Pro plan, whatever that means. Let's just reload. We'll set up an auto reload. So it looks like I probably have to set this. So because you make an account, you automatically get a Blink Pro membership. So I'm going to add 10 bucks to it, and then auto reload and balance is below 5. Okay, but what are you reloading with? You don't know my credit card. All right, let's charge. Okay, remote start was successful. So this app is poorly programmed. It did not tell us. So it says, hello, Arai, touch the green button to charge now, or your charge will begin in that. So let's go ahead and plug her in. I'm motivated to get this worked, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and plug her in. Boom. Now, I just want to know how it's charging me. Maybe I did set up a credit card at some point. I don't remember if I did. So let's go. Okay, charge is beginning. Okay to plug at any time. Heard the context on the car click, so it's working. All right. Cool. I think we're charging. So let's just take a peek in the car here. See what's charging. Yeah, it's charging. So if we leave it here to charge to 80, obviously it'll be done in like 7 hours. This is a really, I think we're paying like 39 cents a kilowatt. That is like Electrify America rates. So that is crazy for slow charging. I mean, I guess if they're doing it by the kilowatt, you're still going to pay the same. It'll just be charging slower, but whatever. So we're going to go ahead and, yeah, we'll leave the car here. Let's see what the speed is. So it's saying about 14 miles per hour in terms of charging speeds. It's a 6.7 kilowatt charger. Cool, so we're good to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and hang out in the mall for a bit. We figured if we were gonna come here, we might as well charge while we're here. So considering there's no immediate Electrify America, we're gonna have to pay anyway wherever we go, unless we find a free green lots or something, but those are usually a little more difficult to find. But I think we're good to go. So we'll go ahead and leave the car charging here, and we'll see where we're at. Welcome back to Minneapolis, Minnesota, again at the Mall of America. We were just about to wrap up our Blink charging session here. I thought that it would be useful to just go over kind of what we got here. So we were here for quite a bit because it's cold out, and we just wanted to experience the mall. I'd never really seen Mall of America before. So let's go ahead and just take a peek here. So we charged for about 5 hours here. We gained, according to the unit, it does not show it in the app because I don't like Blink charging's app, but we gained about 33 kilowatts. So we paid 39 cents a kilowatt. So it looks like the current rate, we're almost at $13 now paying for charging. So obviously quite expensive for slow charging. We chose to do it in this case because of convenience, and then we'll be able to charge this evening using the level 1 charger, hopefully to close to 100%, because I think we'll see what we're at in terms of the car, because we plugged in at 21% or 22%, I believe. So let's just go ahead. It's okay to unplug at any time, so we don't need to scan anything with the card, which is nice. So let's go ahead and get unplugged here and make sure that's all that it wants us to do. We gotta unlock the car. It'll start the climate control as well, which is nice. I probably should have started that when we were in the mall, but that's okay. And then here we go. We got a little charging summary, which I'm sure will be emailed to me as well. So yeah, we charge for, does it show how many hours? It just shows the total, and then per kilowatt it's charging. Kilowatt hour, excuse me. So yeah, that's it. So we'll go ahead and just close out of that. Thank you, goodbye. Please return the connector, already done. So we're gonna get on going. We're going to meet a friend for dinner, and then we'll get back to you when we get back to our Airbnb. We'll show what we're at that point, and then we'll do level 1 charging overnight before we head over to Rochester, Minnesota tomorrow, or that area, to meet other friends as well. All right, so just to reiterate, we have charged up to 65% here. So we got a pretty good charge for that amount there. We went from 22 to 65%. And again, because we were only charged by the kilowatt hour and not by the minute, that ended up being a little more economical. Obviously not ideal. Now we have 110 miles of guesstimated range, which is the highest since we've been in Minneapolis. So this is gonna work out great for us. And then tonight, you know, hopefully that overnight charging, we'll probably eat another 10-15% or so before we get back there tonight. Because of the cold weather and just the nature of the driving we're doing, getting on the freeway from Mall of America and stuff like that. Again, I probably would have been smarter and preconditioned the car or started the climate control when we were in there. We probably would have eaten less battery once we unplugged, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and get to our dinner, and then we'll see what we're at, and we'll level 1 charge tomorrow, and then hopefully we won't even have to bother touching Electrify America before we go to Rochester. It'd be nice if there was one in the area, because that's free to us as ID.4 owners, but, you know, just for the convenience, I don't mind paying, you know, 10, 20 bucks just to make sure we get where we need to go. Hey guys, we just got back from our dinner with our friends. Had a fun day, Mall of America, and doing that today. We just got back to our Airbnb, and again, we are having the car plugged in here. You can see probably in the dark here the cable and going over to the wall over there. So just to show you, we're plugging in. We're at 53% state of charge. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see that 53% charging at still that same 2 miles an hour rate. Probably close to like maybe 1 kilowatt per, you know, in terms of like the overall power. So we're gonna see what we're at. It is currently 8:30 p.m. Central Time. We have to check out at 11 a.m. tomorrow, so we're gonna keep the car plugged in as long as we can until then, and then go from there, and then we'll be on our way to Rochester. Welcome again to Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're just about to leave our Airbnb here and get on the road. I think we're gonna look at some downtown spots here in Minneapolis, since we don't have to be in Rochester area to visit Caitlin's friends till this evening. So we're just about leaving the Airbnb here. We were very lucky that we were able to charge. We got charged up to 70% overnight. I believe we came back in the 50s, so 50%, you know, range. So we're gonna go ahead and just get us unplugged here, get on the way. You see it snowed a little dusting, not anything crazy. So with the charger, just gotta make sure the car is unlocked here. It's annoying that it doesn't do that when I'm right by it. You can see it accumulate a little bit of snow here. This is why you have the cap, ladies and gentlemen. So for people in Florida and stuff, you know, probably don't need that, but I mean, you don't even need to clear this out because it's all pretty sealed, because this cap covers the whole cap for the charging port there. So we'll go ahead and close that up, and then it'll probably melt eventually. Then we'll go ahead and just take our charging cable here, get that unplugged from the wall. There we go. Huh? Yep. There we go. Yeah, don't want to forget to do that. She's cold. It is cold out here today. I don't know what I'm doing in just this jacket, not a winter coat right now. But we'll go ahead and just throw this guy in the trunk, and we'll get on our way here. It is, what is it? It's still single digits here, Caitlin, right? Yeah, it's still, yes, I will. I mean, we're not outside, so it's not a huge deal, but we'll go ahead and just make sure we do that.
Yeah, it's like single digits.
Feel frostbite already. We joke about that here because we're just so used to it, but you know. Anyway, all right, charger's in here. Don't really care about the organization right now, as long as the dogs can't get to it. We're gonna get inside the warm, toasty car. We'll see what our guesstimated range is. All right, so it's 7 degrees according to the car. You can see we got a little bit of snow here, but it's just a little dusting, so our windshield wiper should be able to get most of it off. There we go. It's fun to look at the snow through the roof. It's kind of fun. That'll probably just all blow off right away. It's just the dusting, so I'm not that worried about it affecting other drivers or anything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and just hit our vehicle settings here. Just like the CarNet app said, 70%. That gives us an estimated 114 miles of range, which is pretty pathetic, but again, you know, very expected with the single-digit temperatures that we have. So we're going to get charged up here. There's we're probably going to want to charge as close to 100 as we can before we get to Rochester, since it's about 111 miles from here to where we're staying, and where we'll only have access to a level 1 charger, and nowhere in that town does it even have a level 2, a public level 2, I should say, or a fast charger. So there are a couple fast chargers here in Minneapolis. We might just want to top off, maybe get up to 80 or 90% at least, if not 100. And then we will possibly stop in Rochester on the way, because we're going to a south suburb of Rochester, and then we'll go from there. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. We are just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Woodbury, Minnesota Walmart, where we just finished up charging. We were going around Minneapolis today since you saw us this morning. You know, we got some food with the dogs at a dog-friendly place, which is crazy because they had an outdoor patio that was covered and heated, which is awesome, because that's great in this, you know, single-digit, almost, you know, 10-degree weather. So we're now at 80% with 133 miles on the gasometer, with about 103 miles until we have to get to Chatfield, Minnesota, where we're visiting our friends, which is just south of Rochester. So we have a 30-mile buffer there. There are no public chargers in that town, so we're going to be completely reliant on our friend's house to charge at level 1 speeds with 110 volts. And then there are some fast chargers between there and Tomah, Wisconsin, where there's the first Electrify America back in network once we go on I-90 east. So I think we're pretty set up. We'll be leaving our car plugged in for the duration. We'll be there for 2 nights, so we'll have it plugged in whenever we're not using it. We might not even use it that much. We'll see. But yeah, we'll go from there. I think we have a pretty good plan. And yeah, and then we'll probably charge it up to 100. I don't know how fast. We'll see how fast it does charge. Once we get there at the level 1, we'll see kind of what rate we're going at. Hopefully we get as close to 80 or 100% as possible, because that'll give us, you know, comfort to get to Tomah. But it took about 40 minutes to get from 20% to 80% here. Peak charging speed of 65 kilowatts, which is not great, but could be a lot worse. I did notice on Plug Share at this particular Electrify America station, this is a huge station. They have like 8 chargers here. We actually have 10 in the one in Milwaukee, but this one's the only Electrify America in Minnesota, which is just pathetic in my opinion. Tesla has wiped out, like there's no chance you get a car other than Tesla in Minnesota right now, unless you have a home charger available and you don't travel around the state very much. Because this is, I mean, honestly, I'm shocked. I really thought Wisconsin was bad at EV charging. Minnesota's even worse. Granted, there are 2 incoming that I think are going to go on the I-90 corridor over toward the Dakotas, or South Dakota, North Dakota, one of the 2. I think it's south actually. But it's just awful that we don't have anything in the city of Minneapolis here, nor on the northwest or south ends of Minneapolis. This is as you're coming in from the east, like from Wisconsin. So we had to drive out 30 minutes out of our way to get to this station, which is not great. Definitely, I mean, granted, it's probably like 15 minutes out of the way, but then you're talking round trip, so 30 minutes out of the way. And then we're gonna, you know, hop on down to Rochester area. So anyway, enough babbling. We will get on going here, get on over to Chatfield, and then we will show you our setup while we're over there. Hello again from Chatfield, Minnesota, just south of Rochester. We are about to head out after a fantastic weekend with our friends, and also of course, at the U.S. Soccer game. So we ended up actually using a fast charger in Rochester when we went into town with our friends at Fresh Time Farmers Market. It's one of the only CCS fast chargers in the Rochester area. I think it's the only one within the city of Rochester besides Tesla. So we ended up charging that from 8% to 60%, I believe we ended up charging to. And then we drove back over to Chatfield, where we arrived with about 47% state of charge. And now we plugged in with 110 volts for the last almost 24 hours. We got back up to 74% state of charge. So that gives us about 133 miles on the guessometer. We have 100 miles to our destination in Tomah, so we should not have to stop anywhere else along the way until we get there. So 1 stop in Tomah, 1 stop in Madison. Since we are closer to home than Minneapolis, we should only have to make those 2 stops. Then we'll be home sweet home. So it ended up working really well. The fast charger in Rochester, I wish Electrify America had one in Rochester. They probably will eventually. There are some sites coming soon to the west to link up Minnesota with South Dakota. And then, yeah, so that'd be great to have one. You know, it's crazy to me still that there's only one Electrify America in the state of Minnesota right now, which is, you know, just outside of Minneapolis, which is unfortunate. But fortunately, even though the charger was expensive, and I'll, you know, detail the show you a screenshot of the charging session here, but it's a 50 kilowatt charger. I think we got about 46 kilowatts in reality, but we charged for about, I think, 50 minutes or so there. We went from about 8% to 60, like I said. So slow, but you know, it did the job. And you know, it's great that they even have an option here aside from Electrify America. And so yeah, we're gonna get on the road here. Caitlin, anything to add?
I'm ready to sleep in my own bed.
Yes. No, it was great though. I'm really thankful that our friends let us stay here, and that we had a great Airbnb in Minneapolis, and great to see, you know, friends who live out here now. I'd never been to Minneapolis before. I've been to Rochester a while ago to go to Mayo Clinic, but other than that, you know, we're just ready to go, and we take an I-90 to 94, and then we'll be home sweet home. Welcome to Tomah, Wisconsin. We just made it here with about 20 miles left on our good old guessometer here, and 11% state of charge. So glad we were able to charge at our friend's place, because that really saved us a lot of time without having to make an extra stop. You know, leaving with about a little over 70% of range, like we just showed you. It's currently 4:30. It's balmy 31 degrees Fahrenheit here. I think when we were here before, it was in the single digits. So I should expect, you know, another a good charging session, especially since we've already been driving for an hour and a half. Just to show you our stats since our last charge, we're averaging 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. And then that was over about 99 miles, average speed of 72 miles per hour. So reasonable test case scenario. I'm not surprised we lost a little bit of range, just because now we're back to doing pretty much exclusively interstate driving. So again, that's just something really important to consider. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get charged up here, and I'll show you what our percentage is gonna be. Just kicked off our charging session in Tomah, Wisconsin at the Walmart here, just located off of I-94. It's a little bit out of the way, which kind of sucks. We had to go about 5 miles north, even though we want to go south, just to get to the station. Unfortunately, it is the best station in this area, so that was pretty much our only option. So we're charging at a great charging speed here, probably some of the best on our trip, which isn't surprising considering it's a balmy, you know, like 31, 32 degrees here. 105 kilowatts at 11% state of charge. That is fantastic. We love to see it when we're getting these good charging speeds, so we shouldn't have to be here that long. I've set it to charge to 80. I think we only need another 150 miles to get to Madison, so we'll kind of charge where we need to be for that, and then we'll go ahead and charge in Madison, and then we should be golden from there. Just wrapped up charging here in Tomah. Charged up to 70% with 28 miles of guesstimated range. We have another 100 miles to make it over to Madison, so we should be more than equipped to get there, and then we'll charge up there, and we'll be back home in Milwaukee. We did charge here for about 30 minutes to get from that 11% to 70%. I did see it peak at about 108 kilowatts of speed, so charging speed. So I think that we should get, you know, similar if not better in Madison, so we'll probably charge for another 30 minutes there, and then we'll be home sweet home. Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, where we are charging at the Walmart in, I think it's Deer East Town Mall. We are currently at 90% state of charge after about charging for 43 minutes. We only anticipated charging to 80, but we were on the phone with my parents in the car, and decided, you know what, for my charging or for my trip tomorrow, I actually am dropping the car back off at the dealer for a squeaking noise coming from my steering wheel column, which is about 30 minutes away from Milwaukee. I just want to make sure we had enough range for that, so I thought we charged to at least 80, but we were currently at 90. It took about 30 minutes to get from 14% state of charge to 80% state of charge. So we're going to go ahead and just stop the charging here real quick. So we are pretty much good to go, so I'm going to go ahead and just get us unplugged here. We actually did charge at the peak charging rate, which is fantastic. We actually did hit 126 kilowatts right off the bat at 14% state of charge. This is probably due to the warm temperature here. Just taking the charger and plugging it back in, but yeah, so pretty good charging session here. So we got 59 kilowatt hours delivered. Would have costed $14.83 normally. Of course, that is free with the Volkswagen charging plan. So we're going to go ahead and just get back on the road here. We'll be perfectly fine to get to Milwaukee since we only need 75 miles of range. We'll just hop in the car here and see what our estimated range is as of right now at 90%. The car's gotten really accurate on this return trip in terms of our range. So we're at 168 miles of guesstimated range. Go ahead and switch the ignition on, see if that changes at all. Nope, that's still 168, so sometimes when we turn the ignition on, it does change. But yeah, we're gonna get back onto Milwaukee. We'll update you when we get there in terms of what our percentage is. Again, the cold weather just, you know, continues to make an impact on our journey, but that's totally fine. It is a lot warmer now, so that's great. We're making do with the charging here, given the shorter range that we're getting. Again, normally at 80%, I get over 200 miles of range. We're at 90 with only 168 miles of range. So that, again, that'll be fine to get home. It's only 76 miles to get home. So we'll go ahead and get on there. And then don't worry, there'll be another video talking about why I'm dropping the car off again tomorrow. That is currently in progress. And unfortunately, Volkswagen dealers or dealerships in general, in my experience, are just not great to deal with. So we'll be good to go. Puppies are ready to finally be home. So we'll update you when we're there. Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We just got home here. We're very excited to finally sleep in our own beds tonight. We have arrived with 48% state of charge and 94 miles in the guessometer. So the car pretty much predicted that spot on. It told us we had about 168 miles for the 75 miles, and look at that, we're a little ahead of even what the car said. So just to go over really quickly here before we wrap up the video, we'll show you our overall stats for the trip. So since that last charge, we actually averaged about 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is probably due to the near freezing, but not, you know, terribly cold temperatures, which is awesome. 76 miles from there, and then long term on the trip, we went almost, about 900 miles almost, on average 2.1 miles per kilowatt with an average speed, per kilowatt hour, excuse me, with an average speed of 49 miles per hour. About 18 hours in the car and or charging. I think that might, I don't know, I never understand exactly what that hour mark is because we definitely didn't spend that much driving. But yeah, so we're pumped to be home. Glad that this road trip went very well. We didn't really have to deal with any issues with chargers at all. Everything worked great on this trip. So that was great. Besides the overpriced charger in Rochester and, you know, not really having adequate infrastructure over there. But you know, we can't control that, and that's not going to affect us too bad considering we had a plan as well. So obviously infrastructure needs to get better. Cold weather performance obviously is not great either. Kind of the similar story, just we had a little more frigid temperatures this time. So glad we made it. Puppies are probably also glad we made it. There's Tedwardo, and there's Riley somewhere. Is she looking off at the window? I think so. No. But anyway, oh, well, it's hard to see in the little GoPro screen. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out midwestev.us. I'm trying to, you know, kind of make a splash platform for what our mission is and stuff like that here. Stay tuned for more videos involving, you know, EV range. I'm going to probably make a quick, you know, tutorial on how to charge and electrify America and some other various charging networks as well. I'm trying to make, you know, content that is suitable to you guys that maybe is not out there already. Probably eventually we'll do a charging curve video for the ID.4 as well when we get back to, you know, more better temperatures. So we can be a little more scientific about that. But please let me know if there's anything else that you guys think that I should cover, etc., etc. And have a great rest of the day.
Let me know what EV I should buy.
Caitlin's considering an EV, but we'll see.
JK.
Her commute's
leave it in the comments. Let me know.
Her commute's 2 miles, so you can't really justify cost on that one, I think. But so is mine, but we still go everywhere. So I don't know, but we'll see. See you guys later.